the regular season for the MLS, I believe, ends like in early October, if I'm not mistaken, because I looked it up the other day. I was talking to somebody about Inter and like whether to bet on them or not, or like what to do in their markets. So it's just like, yeah, they're tearing through everybody and he's awesome. And none of this gets the team any closer to actually making the playoffs. And they are in dead last right now. And that's because I was talking to somebody about this the other day, just like people bet Inter to win. It's called MLS Cup. Is that the name of their Super Bowl or whatever? Like the cup? I don't know, whatever. Who cares? Whatever this trophy is. How do you do, Inter Miami? And I was talking to a couple people who were basically like, right when Messi went to Inter Miami, everyone bet them to win this. So this was a couple months ago. Everyone jammed them in the futures market to win the tournament. And the person I was talking to was like, yeah, it was really funny. Everybody bet them to like 8-1 or 10-1, and they're in dead last. And it's like, even if they win every match, it's very unlikely that they will even make the playoffs this year because they've already played like 23, 25 matches, something like that in league play. And I guess if they won every single match, they have a chance. But it's like this weird dynamic where if they ever got into the playoffs, they'd immediately become a huge favorite to win everything because they'd win every match. But if they can they get there? They don't even have enough time maybe to get there. Like, I can't remember an example of a team that's like, again, I called it a phenomenon, like just what's happening right now with this team and applications to betting.
I'm guessing, so it's mathematically possible. They wouldn't be listed, right? So it's possible for them to make the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. So they played 22 matches. They played fewer matches than almost everybody else in the league. Everybody else in the league.
They're not going to lose. Like, they're probably, like, never going to lose.
Okay, how many matches are in an MLS regular season? How many matches they play? 40, maybe?
It's 38 in all the European leagues. I don't know the answer for MLS because I don't pay attention to
it.
I wish I could give you an answer. I don't have one.
34. So that's just problematic. So they have 12 games left. If they win all 12,
that's 36
points, right, for a win? All right. Or you get 3 for a win. 3 for a win and 1 for a draw, right?
I'm guessing that it's the same scoring system. Yeah, 3 for a win, 1 for a draw.
Yeah, if you can't tell, I watch like the World Cup and that's it. Okay, so if they, oh man. So like if they get all 36 possible points, here's the really crazy thing. If they did that and no one else played, they'd barely be in first in their conference. If no one else played any other games. Like they're really far behind right now. I mean, they could get 36 and probably, I mean, they'd have to be good at getting the max, but it's going to be really tight. Like it's going to be really close. And a lot of teams the thing that helps them, a ton of teams make the playoffs in MLS. I think like 18 or 20 teams make it or something in MLS. So that helps them, but like really clock ticking once they get back to work in the regular season. That'll be a really fast, if it's close down the stretch, that'll be fascinating.
I'm just like, they're actually like not going to lose as long as he plays.
Does he play every match? That would be part of it too.
I think my sense is that the answer to that question would be yes, but I mean,
just because he's older and it's a long season, like I don't know, is he really going to play? He's playing all these matches. Is he really going to play all of them? I don't know.
But I mean, it's not like Sergio Ramos is elbowing him in the throat. It's like you.
That's true.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
He's the best player, and now he's playing in Miami. He's playing up against like the Dallas Desperados or FC Dallas, whatever they're called. Georgia over 11.5 plus 115, under 11.5 minus 135. So the under juiced minus 135. Georgia, of course, the favorite to win the national championship, which would be the first team since Minnesota from 1934 to 1936 to win 3 consecutive national championships.
I bet them too.
So Georgia, yeah, that was a great bet. That was Craig T. Nelson was the coach, right?
Coach. Hashtag coach.
All right, Georgia's football schedule for this year.
This should be fast.
All right, beep, beep. Week 1 against Tennessee Martin at home.
Yeah, win favored by 900. Yeah.
Week 2, home against Ball State.
44.
Week 3, home against South Carolina.
Market open for this game is 24. I am 23.5.
September 23rd, home UAB.
38.5.
September 30th, at Auburn.
Look ahead is 17.5. I am 16.5.
October 7th, home Kentucky.
20.
October 14th at Vandy.
28.5.
Idle prior to the cocktail party against Florida. We know we did this in the last segment. We can do it again for the podcast.
Oh, there is a look ahead for this. I wrote it down in the Georgia one. The look ahead is 21, and I said I was 17 and a half. So that's where we are. I don't know why I didn't write down the look ahead in the Florida column, but I'm 17 and a half in the game because I like Florida more. Look ahead market is 21 and a half. This is not a game where I would want to bet on Florida, like ever.
November 4th, Georgia hosting Mizzou.
24.
November 11th, Georgia hosting Ole Miss.
Look ahead market's 19 and a half. I am 19.
November 18th, Georgia at Tennessee.
Yeah, that'll be a really interesting one. This is the one game on Georgia's schedule that the betting markets project to be as close to a toss-up as Georgia can have. The betting market for this look-ahead is Georgia by 7.5 on the road. Remember, Georgia steamrolled Tennessee. Georgia steamrolled Tennessee last year in a game that people thought would be pretty close and was not. And Georgia's defense was otherworldly in the game and got a ton of pressure on Hendon Hooker. My number in the game is basically the same for right now. I don't like Tennessee very much, so I'm a little more than this, but more than a touchdown and like less than 2 touchdowns is a good way to think about it. I'm like 9.5 in the game.
And the final game of the season, the great rappers Clips had a song, Keys Open Doors. I think the Brent Keys, the Georgia Tech's head coach, will open the door to pain, misery, and suffering as Georgia Tech hosts Georgia in the regular season finale.
And these betting markets for this, like since Georgia's been this good and Georgia Tech's been that bad, they're always like 3 or 4 touchdowns. This one should be no different. I'm 27.
Georgia Tech did have a couple big money line upset wins last year, including the one that you gave out against Pitt as a 21-point dog. Will you be betting Georgia Tech money line in this game against Georgia?
Probably not. When we do Georgia Tech, maybe we bet their money line in some other spots, or we bet against Pat Narduzzi when he's a big favorite. That was the impetus to make that bet. Was Narduzzi and Pitt were a huge favorite, and that is a brutal situation for him historically because he is a very conservative coach.
Very interesting game for Georgia Tech, by the way, in week 1 against Jeff Brom and Louisville. All right, we made it through Georgia's regular season. Win total is 11.5. Any bets?
Raw projection for them is a little more than 11. And it's basically just, are they going to win 11 or 12, maybe 90, 95% of the time with a couple 10s sprinkled in there, lose to Tennessee, suffer some injuries, maybe at Auburn. Hugh Freeze, obviously known to kind of be a giant killer a little bit, but not a lot of risk on the schedule. Obviously don't draw Alabama or LSU out of the West. So just not a lot of potential landmines, honestly, and I don't like Tennessee. So the 11.5s are all juiced under. It just depends on by how much. I think that is correct. My number comes in slightly under 11.5. If I had to bet this win total, it's so funny because you're swapping quarterbacks. I probably should say under. I just don't see the loss like in any realistic sense. At Auburn is the game I'd be the most worried. I'm not even worried about Tennessee. Just worried about something kooky happening with the Auburn game. So like lean over, no bet. A couple other people I follow, like Victor Hovland. I ran my own stuff on this tournament. I see why everybody likes Victor Hovland. Like it's not a bad bet. Like I see why everyone likes him, and it makes a ton of sense for this course. Golf it's so funny. It's the only sport where it just really seems like when everyone's on someone, that player literally never wins ever. Now, part of that is that there are so many golfers in a tournament. Having a winner period is really difficult. So it doesn't have to be because everyone's on them. But man, it's like people just, it's a funny sport betting wise. It's like the only sport where it's like, I have done the research and it is like a phenomenon that whoever everyone is on does not win. Never happens. And everyone's betting the favorites every week. Like it's not like everyone's betting 100 to 1s. It's just a bizarre phenomenon. I really can't explain it. Randomness is one explanation, but it's like the one sport where I feel like if everybody's on something, I don't want to be on it.
and the best part is it's not even like fading the public.
No.
It's like fading the people that pay the most attention to it and like bet it.
Yeah,
actually.
because Hovland makes sense. Like it's not like he doesn't make sense. He makes like the most sense. Like that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, it's not a bad bet. He makes a ton of sense with this course. His statistical profile matches this more than like anybody except Rory. And it's like, still, oh no. Everyone came to the same conclusion. Can't wait to see how we all lose. Gonna be great.